Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for tonight's class. Whether you're here live or catching the recording, I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be the doTERRA Business Made Easy. And I'm thrilled to be able to share this content with you. This is brand new for me. This is a brand new offering for our team and anyone that our team members would invite to participate. And so I'm thrilled that you're here and thrilled to be able to share some of what makes this doTERRA business just really near and dear to my heart. So let me share my screen with you. There we go. And so that we can all see the presentation together. There are a number of reasons that you might have been drawn in to this class tonight. Maybe you're just curious about doTERRA or network marketing in general. Could this work for me? Maybe you're already enrolled in doTERRA and you just love sharing your oils. Or maybe you have more of a business mind and you're very intrigued by the opportunity and you want to see if this is the right financial plan for you. Out of all of those options, you're all in the right place. I want every single one of you to be here. I'm so grateful that you've carved out some time this evening to just explore this with me. We are going to take about an hour to go over the material. Where you are now and where you end up is entirely up to you. And so what we're going to be doing over this next hour is just breaking everything down so that it's very easy for you to understand and make an informed decision about what is next for you. And so as we get started, I invite you to have a glass of water. I have my glass water bottle here with some grapefruit essential oil in it. Highly recommend that. And you're going to want to have a notebook or paper and pen or pencil for this class. And I recommend 2 oils, peppermint and wild orange. And we're going to start with our peppermint right now. If you'll do just a drop in your palm, we'll do our signature doTERRA move. Inhale that deeply, maybe rub a little bit on the back of your neck. Hit the base of your spine there. This is peppermint. And just breathe that in. Now, if you've ever attended a class with me before, you know that I love to start with peppermint. And there are lots of reasons for that. Predominantly, when we're in an in-person class, it opens up our airways and enables us to smell all the different essential oils and benefit from them the most over the course of the evening. It also opens up your mind to receive new information, to categorize that in the brain and be able to recall it later when you want to remember what you've just learned. And so for those reasons, I would have you smell peppermint before any class. But tonight, I also want to highlight the emotional benefits of peppermint essential oil. It's known as the oil of a buoyant heart. And I just feel like the more I talk with people, lots of people are feeling heaviness right now, just the weight of the world on their shoulders. And because peppermint is the oil of a buoyant heart, it just has that ability to raise us up into a higher vibration, a higher, lighter, more positive energy. And because this class is all about opportunity, possibility, dreaming big, opening up your mind to solutions, to new possibilities, maybe even an adventure. I just want to elevate you into that place where you know that these things are possible and for you. So I hope you enjoy your peppermint oil and that helps you get into the right mindset as we jump in and explore this opportunity together. And so this slide has 4 questions on it that I would like you to review And I invite you each to answer them silently and thoughtfully. So you might want to jot these down in your notebook and then truly answer each one of them. I want to encourage you that there are no wrong answers, and this is just going to help you identify where you stand. So just reviewing them while you take a moment to write them down, capture them on your page. You can also screenshot this if you want. The first question, what would be the best part of running your own business? Just think about what that might look like or what that might mean for you. 2, how do you feel about network marketing? Just know that there may be some negative things coming up around that topic. Maybe you've had a previous experience that wasn't pleasant, or maybe you don't really have any experience, but you just know that there's a stigma around network marketing. And maybe that leaves you a little on edge, and you would just are curious to know maybe how doTERRA is different from an average or past network marketing experience. It's okay to identify truly how you feel about that. And then what intrigues you about this opportunity? If you're here, if you've carved out some time in your schedule to be here, there's got to be something that's exciting to you about this. And so feel free to write a little bit about that. And then finally, what would residual income mean for you or your family? And I do just want to take a moment to define the difference between residual and passive income. So residual income is one that you do some work for, but eventually, as the machine gets going, you're not trading dollars for hours. And if you step out, you take a break, you take a vacation, you take some personal time, that residual income still keeps going for you. So you still profit even if you're not working in that moment. So maybe while you're sleeping, someone somewhere else is placing an order or enrolling, and you automatically benefit from that. That's an example of residual income. It can come to you at any time based on work that you've already done. Versus passive income, an example of that would be if you had a wealthy relative who set up a trust fund for you, and you're able to live off the interest of that trust fund, and there's a bank or a financial advisor somewhere who sends you a monthly check. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work at all. You just know that you're going to be receiving that dividend check off that big investment that's just sitting there for you. That's passive income. So what we're talking about tonight is not passive, it's residual. So we are going to do some work. We're going to invest in the opportunity, but it's going to pay us back handsomely. And so given that, I would love you to think about, what does financial freedom mean to you? And just let your mind expand on what that could look like. And so for my personal experience, I'll just share a little bit of my story. From the beginning, I was a little reluctant to build a business with doTERRA. I was already a full-time real estate agent. I had a child at home, 2 older children, and plenty going on. And so I didn't really want to start another business. Greg was self-employed as well at that time, and I was helping him manage his business. However, I could not stop myself from using my oils every day, loving them, building up my own experience with them, and then sharing them with others. I even, within my first year, I don't think it was just barely 6 months in, I created my first series of classes and taught them in my basement. It was over the month of December. And I did a women's health class, and I did an Oils of the Bible class, and just an Essential Oils 101 class. And I was loving it. And so without really committing to the business itself, I was doing all the things that looked like the business. And over time, it just fell into place where I easily progressed from having my oils paid for to then having some extra money on hand to do extra things with. So at this point, my rank in doTERRA is silver, and I'm still on the path. I'm still progressing. I'm 10 years into my career with doTERRA, but most of that time has just been as a user and a sharer. For the past 2 years, I've been building with intention. And so I've now reached the rank of silver and have progressed to a place where I have some extra income, what we would call supplemental income for my family. So I'm able to support my business in addition to buying the oils we use for the family. And I'm also helping pay tuition for Kate to go to Tree of Life Christian School starting in the fall. And so that just feels really good. As you progress into more and more financial freedom, I hope you'll join me in dreaming big and just realizing that at some point, this could be my main income and the main income that supports my family. It can go from covering expenses and beyond, taking care of our retirement days, money, wealth that we would have to leave to our children when we pass on, and just being the generous people that we love to be. Just thinking about that multiplied and amplified is very exciting. So that's what financial freedom means to me. And I just invite you to dream with me and think about what that could mean for you. And so let's do a little comparison based on where you are now. And I want you to hear right from the beginning that I am not anti-job. I've had plenty of jobs in my life, and they've supported me. They've put food on the table. They've helped me pay my bills, on and on. So I'm not negative toward jobs. I just think it's important to differentiate based on limitations. When I look at the left-hand column of a traditional job, I see limit, 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 limit. And not that it's not providing in this moment, but when you look at that big picture and you allow yourself to dream, is this your ultimate? Is this the best opportunity available to you? Do you want to just trade hours for dollars? Eventually, typically any job, you're going to hit a ceiling. You would have limited time freedom, so you work set hours, you take vacation when someone tells you it's okay to, and technically you're building someone else's dream. You're signing up for a company that this is their dream and this is the way they want it to look, and you're just fitting in with that. You might have your own idea. You might present that to a manager or a boss, but they have the opportunity to say yes or no to your idea. So compare that to authentic direct sales. And I love the use of the word authentic here because we want to differentiate between doTERRA as a network marketing opportunity and some others that are out there. Even if you would have a fear in the back of your mind about a pyramid scheme or something where, you know, when you see the family tree and you see how it builds out, you might have a fear about, what does this mean? Is this legitimate? Is this authentic business? And yes, it is. A red flag to look for if something's going to be a scheme, something that you would want to back away from and not be involved in, is when the focus is on the business opportunity and the product is just kind of over there in the shadows. That, yeah, let's focus on recruiting. You'll have a lot of language around recruiting and sales and things like that with the product not really being very important. Whereas here in doTERRA, we know our essential oils are the stars. They're the purest, they're the most potent, we love them, and so we lead with our product, and it's just an amazing bonus that our compensation plan is so great. And what I mean by that is there are absolutely no limits. This is true residual income that as you invest, you are going to reap what you sow. There are no limits on advancement in earnings. So even if you enroll Under me, I like to use team language and say, if you become a part of my team, you have the ability to outrank me. If you want to work harder and faster or smarter or whatever you want to call it than I do, you have the opportunity to go to the highest rank of the company and beyond, regardless of what I'm doing. That's another way to compare a legitimate business opportunity with one that's not. Every single person in network marketing should have an equal opportunity to advance and succeed. Your success should not depend upon mine. So whether I hit a certain rank or not has no bearing on whether you do. Please go ahead and outrank me. I'm cheering you on. And so just to give you a quick example, I'll be mentioning Patrick and Elise Shetaby at the end of the presentation. These are the highest ranking wellness advocates in doTERRA to date, and they have not only hit the highest rank in our company, which is Presidential Diamond, they've hit it 3 times. So there's no limit in our company. If you build out your organization to the biggest it can be and you hit the rank of Presidential Diamond, you don't have to stop. You can start a second whole team, or in their case, a third whole team. And when we look at numbers a little later, you'll see how exciting that can be. It's work, but oh my goodness, it's really paying off for them. And that's the same opportunity that's available to each and every one of you. You have the freedom to choose your schedule, and you get to build your dreams. So let's look over 3 slides why you would partner with doTERRA. So if you're looking maybe at multiple network marketing opportunities, why would doTERRA stand out? And the first criteria would be the effectiveness of our product. As we talked about, our oils, most tested, most trusted, most pure, most potent on the planet. We've got nearly 9 million customers and wellness advocates to date. We're recognized by the healthcare community worldwide. And what you really should focus on in this slide is the retention rate. So if you're comparing with other network marketing companies, this average industry rate, the industry we're talking about is within network marketing. So that average is only 13%. So if you have a jewelry business or a handbag business or a makeup business, then you would be thrilled if your retention rate was 13%. Well, ours absolutely blows that out of the water. It has consistently over the 12 years of the company, it's stayed at 65% this whole time. And so that is huge when you start looking at residual income and you realize more than half of the people that you enroll are going to stick with you for the long haul. And that's a huge strength to this company and this opportunity. Second is that we're proven. We're the largest oil company in the world, and similar to Apple, Apple's the only other company in US history that's become a $1 billion company within 7 years. So the only company to match Apple's trajectory has been doTERRA. Very cool. And you can read the slide there. The other point that I want to make is that we are debt-free. We're privately owned and debt-free. So that means we're not answering to investors or fundraisers, getting drawn in different directions, or getting tied into anything political. Our dream, as well as our oils for this company, remains pure. Oh, and I do want to mention one more on this slide where it says optimal timing for opportunity. We've been able to say this many times over the course of our 12-year history. For example, doTERRA was born in 2008, right in the middle of a recession, and it took off like a wildfire. And while many small businesses and companies across our country today are suffering because of just the strange economic environment, the fear over a pandemic, our business is actually booming again. There are more people rank advanced in April through July than they have in the last couple of years. So we're right in the middle of another boom as more and more people try to navigate this strange time in our history. We're seeing more and more opportunity for growth as people are either looking for more natural solutions from the healthcare perspective, or they're looking for a business opportunity that doesn't tie them down, that gives way more financial security than where they find themselves today. And third, doTERRA, our company, just has a huge heart. And this means so much for me. And I try not to spend too much time on this slide because I can get emotional and a little bit carried away. I love to share the story of Haiti, which illustrates our co-impact sourcing program. So Haiti is where we harvest our vetiver essential oil. And the beauty of co-impact sourcing is that we are not just growing some crops in a backyard. It would be a big backyard given that, but in Salt Lake City, Utah. We go all over the world and harvest our plants to distill and produce our essential oils where they grow indigenously. And that means we work with small scale farmers and really families who have served and loved on these plants and honored them for generations. And so we honor those people by coming alongside them. We not only provide an amazing economic development opportunity as we partner close to 100% of the time. I believe the percentage today is above 98% of the time. We form exclusive partnerships with our growers. So once they sign on with doTERRA, they're only providing oil to doTERRA. And so then we give them the best of the best in terms of not only fair working conditions, honest wages, and the overall economic development opportunity for their people and often whole communities. We also look at what they need and how can we bless these people back, because they're helping us get the highest quality essential oil that we possibly can. And so in Haiti, for example, all the adults went to work harvesting the plant. They did not have access to clean water in their village. So they then began sending their children, walking miles every day to get clean water and bring it back. So that meant the children were not attending school. Well, that did not sit well with our company. And so we quickly arranged a trip, and executives, along with wellness advocates, went to Haiti and dug wells so that the whole community would have access to clean water right there on site. Kids could go back to school and everyone was blessed. So this is what we do, whether it's through co-impact sourcing or our Healing Hands Foundation. We love to get involved in humanitarian initiatives, disaster relief efforts, helping to build infrastructure and bring access to medical care, education, and so on and so on. So it's a beautiful picture. I would invite you, if this is the sort of thing that lights you up, it definitely does for me, go to sourcetoyou.com. The website is there on the screen for you. It's all spelled out. And just bless yourself by watching any of the videos there. They're all incredible. And so now let's focus the bulk of our class on the questions that you most likely have. There are 4 of these. How do I make money? How much time is involved? Could this work for me? And then what is the next step? Now that we've established a bit of a foundation to work from, let's answer your questions next. So first, how do I make money? Let me tell you, this is incredibly easy. And that's why we have no problem calling this class the doTERRA Business Made Easy, because that's exactly what it is. Every time you help a person determine their natural health needs and they place an order, you get paid. That's really all it is. I'm not a doctor or a nurse. I don't travel the world trying to solve rare autoimmune diseases or generic abnormalities. It's very, very simple. I offer my neighbor maybe some lavender because I notice she's sneezing while she's out doing her yard work. Or I offer my friend some peppermint because I hear she's going through the change of life and she's starting to have hot flashes. And I know that that just little swipe of peppermint on the back of her neck could be life-changing. And maybe Greg takes Deep Blue Rub to the gym because he knows hanging out with other guys working out, he's going to be using some Deep Blue and he might have an opportunity to share it with another guy who could really benefit from that Deep Blue Rub. So what you find is this progression illustrated on your screen. You sample, then you teach, then you enroll, and you support. Repeat. As long as you're willing to plug into this proven system and do these same income generating activities over and over again, you've got it. Do you care about people? You've got it. So the teaching part, we make really easy as well. Even this PowerPoint that I'm teaching from right now was gifted to me by another wellness advocate. And all I have to do is share it with you. In our intro class, which is called Essential Oils Made Easy, if you can teach 3 cool things about oils, 3 ways to use them, and 3 ways to get them into your home, you've got it. So simple. Once you say yes to the business, we can help you learn how to teach that class in as little as a weekend. Then you plug people into continuing education and community, which is where we all thrive. Next question, how much time is involved? And this really is up to you. So go back to your pen and pad and go back to your dreams, the answers that you have to questions so far, and think about how much time do you have, how much time are you willing to invest, and what are your goals? Maybe you want to save for retirement, maybe you want to pay off debt. You have some examples here on the screen. If you just want to pay for your own oils, then a few hours a week will do it. If you're looking to supplement your income, which is where I am at this point, you can spend about 10 to 15 hours per week. For me, I block off 9 to noon each weekday. And then I have some added time that I'll spend teaching on Tuesday evenings or maybe doing a one-on-one with people a couple times a week, whether I'm meeting with them at my office, at Inner Wisdom Healing Center, or meeting with them at my home. That's totally up to you how you want to schedule and structure. If you're working another job and you want to try to start weaving in some hours for doTERRA, that can also be accomplished. One of my strengths is helping people strategize. And so if you have a dream, I will commit myself to helping you find a way to get there. We will do it together. And ultimately, if you even want to replace your income, the sky is the limit, and you still only need to invest 15 to 30 plus hours a week. So when you consider that compared to your typical full-time job, which can be anywhere from 40 to 80 hours a week in some cases, you'll see how this is another huge advantage to this opportunity, because the way that we use our time, just repeating those same income generating activities over and over, we use our time very effectively. And then, could this work for me? So I've got a few questions for you there. Are you passionate about your oils? Do you love your oils? Do you use them all the time? Do you find yourself talking about them even if you haven't started building the business yet? Second question, do you care about people? Maybe you find yourself being concerned with the health of others, maybe in your own family or in whatever circles you operate in. If you're eager to offer solutions and give someone a hand, then yes, this really could work for you. And finally, can you follow a system and get things done? And this is really where the rubber meets the road. If you're honest about yourself and you say, you know what, I do get distracted sometimes, or I'm the type of person who maybe jumps from fad to fad, you may just want to be real with yourself about that and say, okay, if I really want this to work, then in this case, I need to follow a system and get things done. And so being able to, and again, this is where I can help you with strategies, being able to overcome any distractions, focus on the system and those income generating activities, and then go for it. So let's dive into some detail. This graphic was pulled from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I just want to walk you through a couple of different income streams that are available to us. And then we'll talk about where doTERRA fits in. So the upper left quadrant is an employee. You have a job. And as I've said, jobs provide, hear my heart, I'm not anti-job, but this scenario just does not set me up for the life of my dreams. And at this point, that's what I want to go for. So maybe we look at the lower left quadrant of self-employment. And so now in this case, I've got a skill. I do have to show up. I'm still trading dollars for hours, but I do have a little more flexibility here. I'm my own boss. I can say, you know, which days I'm working, which days I'm not, or which hours I'm working and which hours I'm not, but I'm still trading time for money. In the upper right quadrant, we have a business owner. So this is nice because you have the efforts of others bringing money in on your bottom line. But typically you've got a large upfront investment and you have that issue of liability. And then the lower right-hand quadrant is investor. And this one is where money finally is working for you. And so maybe you have that trust fund that's just sending you checks every month, true passive income. And so maybe the investment wasn't even made by you, or maybe you did really well, hit the lottery or something, invested it all, and so you've got this nest egg and you can just live off that passive income. Maybe you invest in property. So Greg and I own a few real estate properties, and that's wonderful, but I would say, in addition to it being a great investment, it does still have, it does still require our involvement, not daily, but monthly at a minimum, and there is still some liability there. So not a bad investment, but maybe not the best. And so where does doTERRA fit in this whole scheme? It's kind of a combo of 2, 3, and 4. We're kind of self-employed, we kind of own our own business, and we're kind of investing in ourselves and in our team. The beauty though is that we kind of cherry pick the best of the best from each of those 3 categories. So we don't have overhead, we don't have liability, we have tremendous flexibility, we have the beauty of working with people on teams, and we have this endless opportunity to create wealth. So this screen says, here's the dilemma. And I'm not going to read all of this out to you. I'm going to let you read and absorb this. David Ellis, he gets credit there at the bottom of the screen for these bullet points, spoke at a convention a few years ago. And he was one of those husbands that was very skeptical from the beginning. He was probably calling his wife a snake oil salesperson. Many husbands have done that. And he was just kind of scoffing at her activity until she started making a lot of money. And he happened to be a certified financial planner. And so he took a critical look at our compensation plan and realized what a golden ticket it is. So if you look down over these statistics, it provides a picture of what we need as average Americans to not only pay our bills, but have enough in reserve so we can enjoy a retirement and still get paid. So if you're on the fence and I haven't yet convinced you that this is a great opportunity, maybe thinking about not only meeting the needs of today, but planning for your future will be the way that this clicks for you. So currently, where does your retirement income come from? Do you have a nest egg? If you have that much saved, if you have over $1 million saved, have you found a way to earn 5% interest? I don't see interest rates on anything anywhere near that. When you were 25 to 65 years old, were you making enough money to be socking away what you needed to during those years so that you would end up with enough? Are you making enough? Are you saving enough? And the whole deal with, well, maybe you have a pension or maybe you have Social Security, unfortunately, those just aren't guaranteed. And so if you find yourself in that 98% of retired people who are dependent on outside financial resources, which I am 45, so I'm right in the middle of that age range, 25 to 65, I don't have enough saved. And so even if I started today, there's not enough time left for me to save what I would need to have that nest egg if I was just working a traditional job. And so I'm in that 98%, and I need something to help me to be able to enjoy my retirement. And so why would I consider direct sales? To me, this is the answer. We have a built-in business model. I don't run around making deliveries. I don't have a garage full of inventory that I have to manage or pull from to fulfill orders. doTERRA does all of that for me. We have a phenomenal built-in education system. So doTERRA Corporate has tremendous resources that are available to you on day one. In addition, as I mentioned, our leaders in doTERRA, and I benefited from this very early on, they're so generous. If they create classes or PowerPoints or handouts or methods or strategies, what have you, they've always been so generous and willing to share. And I love following in those footsteps. And so just like this class was given to me, this beautiful PowerPoint, I give it to you. So the moment you say, yes, I'm ready, you are welcome to a flash drive with all the PowerPoints and all the presentations and handouts and whatever. It's gigantic. That's all for you. You get that automatically. And then the startup costs are so low. I think depending on which kit you choose, if you've already enrolled, then know that typically whatever kit you chose at enrollment is typically the one that you will sell the most. When you talk with people, it's very easy, and a lot of times they'll ask you, which kit did you enroll with? It's very easy for you to share your own experience, and if you have a relationship with a person, they know you, they like you, and they trust you, then they're going to be really likely to follow you. And so if you haven't made that initial investment yet, enrolling and choosing a kit, maybe keep that in mind, that the one that you purchase will be the one that you're most likely to sell. And beyond that, the books, the supplies I use are very minimal. You just want to have your $100 a month or 100 PV a month order in place. And then you're just going to learn, share, educate, and repeat. Yeah. Okay. So now I would like to invite you to take out your wild orange. And I'm going to talk about the emotional side of this oil. Just breathe it right out of the bottle. Go ahead and put a drop or two. I usually get 2 drops. Rub that together. Breathe it in. Maybe add a little of that to the back of your neck. I absolutely love wild orange. This is the oil of abundance. So maybe by this point in the presentation, you're starting to think, what if this is too good to be true? What if this happens for other people, but not me? I just want you to expand your mindset into abundance. Step away from scarcity thinking. We don't want to think thoughts like there's not enough time, I don't have enough resources, I'm not a good enough speaker or teacher, whatever scarcity thoughts might be creeping in for you. I just challenge you to put those aside and step into abundance. We live on an abundant planet. There are plenty of resources, plenty of opportunities for each one of us, including you. And so I know this chart is a little hard to read, so we are going to blow it up and look at it in a little more detail. But just breathe in your essential oil, your wild orange, and think about, what do you want to create? And know that your income potential is completely up to you. And I want you to write that down where you're keeping your other questions and answers. Okay, so let's zoom in and just look at these initial ranks. And what I want to do, I want to encourage you as we start to take in some more detail here. Don't get overwhelmed by language or lingo. If you see OV or PV or different rank names, it is not your responsibility to learn all of that tonight. Sometimes people need to look at this information as many as 10 times before they really understand fully our compensation plan and all the different ways that doTERRA pays you, because they're very generous. And so there are a lot of ways. And I'm going to hit the highlights of them for you, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I would love for you to be excited, and I would love for you to know that at any point, one, these will make more and more sense to you as you start to live them. As you move up in the ranks and earn new and more bonuses, they will click for you and it'll make sense. But as for tonight, don't feel like you have to memorize all of this and be able to present it to someone else tomorrow. That is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to just let this information wash over you and dream. So on this first slide, you'll see some of our initial ranks. And I love this Peter Drucker quote, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." So how best to overcome the uncertainty, the angst, even the fear we're all feeling right now, because there's so many things just in flux and uncertain, to be able to have an active role in our financial future, in not only the health, the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health of our families, thanks to our oils, but then also our financial health as well. And so, like I said, this will make more sense to you later when we look at building, but you might just see an executive is an EX, an elite is an E. A premier has 2 executives below it, and a silver has 3 elites below it. And so all I want you to gather from that is how easy it is to build. Once you understand these very early ranks, which will be your first ranks to hit in doTERRA, you just have to help other people do what you've already done. Very, very easy. And I also want you to look at those numbers and know that these are average monthly incomes. So as you start out, those are modest numbers, but as you watch them build, they get more and more exciting. So let's flip to the second half of this chart and look at gold, platinum, diamond, blue diamond, presidential diamond, and think about, what is that income number that you wrote down? What is your goal? Are you just trying to pay for your oils? Are you trying to supplement your income? Are you trying to replace your income? And what does that look like on a monthly basis? What would it take for you? And do you see that represented here? And I'll tell you from my personal experience, when I look at blue diamond income and I see that average monthly income of $37,000 monthly, just let that sink in. In my first full-time job, I was hitting a ceiling. Now, it wasn't a great experience. I'll give you that. So it wasn't the best possible job. I loved it. I had really great skill. I was not being fairly compensated for what I brought to the table. So sad story. I tell you that to illustrate those limitations that we talked about before. The highest that I probably would have ever made in a year, if I make it to Blue Diamond, I could be making every month. And so I love that perspective. It gets me really excited about the potential. And today, I don't mind sharing this, replacement income for our family is somewhere between the gold and platinum level. And so I'm a silver currently, that's well within my reach. And so I'm hoping to get there within the next year or two because I build conservatively. I just have a lot of fun with it. And I do have freedom in that Greg's income is also great right now. And so we do lean on that a little bit because I've got a little one at home and I've got to, balance her schedule, and I'm trying to be a great mom as well. And so I have that flexibility to build on a timetable and a schedule that's right for me and my family. And so if we can get to gold or platinum in the next few years, that becomes life-changing for our family. And anything beyond that is really beyond our wildest dreams. And so I do encourage you and invite you, don't be afraid to dream big. Come along with me. And whatever your goals are, whatever plans you're starting to hash and take notes about, your leader, whoever invited you tonight or sent you a link to watch this recording, will help you come up with a plan, a strategy, and a timeline to make your dreams come true. So with that, let's look at some more detail. We're going to start going through one at a time the different bonuses available to you. So this is the Fast Start bonus. And like I said, we're not going to spend a ton of time explaining each one of these because I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Fast Start is that first bonus that you'll have a chance to earn as soon as you enroll someone else. The beauty of Fast Start is that it's paid weekly. So if you're looking at bills to pay and responsibilities and you think, well, I do need to be making money more quickly than just every month, the Fast Start bonus is your weekly paycheck. So consider you have a class and several people enroll. Within a week, you are going to make money on all of their enrollments. doTERRA is going to pay you right away. And so the way that Fast Start works, when you enroll someone, for their first 60 days, you're going to earn a Fast Start. So however many times they order, you as their enroller make 20%. And so this little example you can follow on the screen. If you enroll Amy, you earn 20% of her order. Amy then shares with her brother Joe. So Amy earns 20% on Joe's order. You earn 10% of Joe's order. So you can kind of see the progression. And this is where residual income kicks in. Because especially, maybe you helped Amy. Maybe you sat with her and helped her enroll Joe. It's her brother. It was her first enrollment. And so you were actively involved in that. And so she's earning the 20% and you're earning the 10. So you do still have a little bit of exchange, your time for some money. But then Joe is a go-getter and he just takes off, and he knows Sue, who is just really involved in a lot of networks and this amazing connected person. And he feels really confident. So he sits down with Sue and enrolls her. And you earn 5% of Sue's order and you didn't even know that meeting was happening. And so that's the beauty of the residual income. You are putting in the work. You invested in Amy, and that just played out over time as she invested in Joe and he meets with Sue, and then on and on. It just continues from there. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to say about this slide. So at this point, when I look at my Fast Start bonus coming in, this is money that I use to fund my supplies. I love getting these weekly paychecks to just turn right back around and invest in my business. And then this is another place where the sky is the limit. The more personal enrollments you have, the more fast start bonuses you can earn. There's no limit on that. So as you enroll great people, they're also natural sharers who love people, then you teach them to do the same thing you did, and it just perpetuates. So let's look at the power of 3. This is the second bonus that doTERRA pays out. This is paid monthly based on your structure. And so this is the part that I said looks like kind of a family tree. And you'll see that typical network marketing structure where you're enrolling some people, they're on your top line, you've got your blue person, your orange person, and your green person there. So you might just want to even consider that that's Amy, Joe, and Sue. And so Amy, Joe, and Sue each start building teams under you. So anytime that you, Amy, Joe, and Sue all have your 100-point order placed, and together with maybe other people on your top line, you hit that total volume of 600, you're going to earn this bonus of $50. And then that as they enroll people and they all earn their $50 bonus, then you're going to earn $250. And then as their people that they've enrolled all earn their $50 bonus, and Amy, Joe, and Sue make their $250 bonus, then you are going to make $1,500. Now, those don't stack. You make one or the other as you go. And this is another one that I don't want you to be overwhelmed about, because it is strategic and your leader will help you figure that out and plan that out to start. But over time, this just starts falling into place. Like where I stand right now as a silver is that my $50 bonus is automatic. That just automatically happens typically within the first 5 days of the month. That's locked in. And then I work with my teams to help them earn so that they're 50 so that I earn my 250. That's where I am. And so I look forward to the day that my 250 just falls right into place and I get to start working on my 1,500, because that as a monthly bonus is a big deal to me. This next slide shows a graphic that I absolutely love. So on the left, you'll see doTERRA's Unilevel compensation plan. So this is the third way that you can earn money in doTERRA. And as you grow and progress through the ranks, this will eventually be where you make the most of your monthly paycheck. So what I love about this is that from the top, you see that you make the least on the people who are on your top line. And our incentive is to build down into our organization, down into our structure, compared to typical network marketing or Unilevel plans. Typically, you have the opportunity to make the most on those few people who are on your top line and the least on those people as you build down into your organization. So the typical plan, unfortunately, causes a lot of competition. So let's say I know that Gladys is listening on the class tonight. Let's say she and we go to the same church. We know a lot of the same people. If she hosts a class and we're following this plan on the right, we might be tempted to try to get as many enrollments during that class as possible. So I would actually be competing with Gladys for our church friends when they come over to our class. And that just breeds things that are not good. That is not sustainable as far as your culture, your environment that you want to have in order for this to be a successful business over time and one that's pleasant and enjoyable to be a part of. So contrast that with doTERRA's compensation plan. What this encourages is teamwork and collaboration, because granted, I have a big heart. I'm not going to be arm wrestling Gladys for her people, but what if I didn't? This plan protects all of us. It also financially incents me. I have way more to gain if Gladys enrolls her own people and they're lower down in my organization versus being on my top line. Because when she enrolls people several layers below me, I will actually make more money on those enrollments. So looking at the plan, when you compare those top line incomes, yes, the competitive plan is making more to start. But as we keep considering the long haul here in the big picture, as you build, as you invest, as you spend years working on your business, do you want to top out at $12,000 a month or $32,000 a month? And this is just with a very basic, as we've said on every slide, the sky's the limit. So this is just plugging in some numbers. I think you can tell there's a huge difference between the two. Let's look at the fourth way that doTERRA will pay you. These are leadership performance pools, which you might liken to a profit sharing plan. So once you achieve certain ranks in the company, doTERRA allocates a % of their profits for the year into these performance pools. So based on your rank, you earn a share in these pools, or more than a share. So for premiers, silvers, and golds, doTERRA sets aside 1.25%. For silvers, golds, and platinums, now you can see here, if you're in silver or gold, you have the chance to double dip in a couple pools. Very generous. And then incredibly generous when you hit the ranks of diamonds, blue diamonds, and presidential diamonds, you get access to 4% of the earnings. And these aren't fixed numbers, they're percentages. So the more the company succeeds and profits, the more they pass on to us as wellness advocates. Keep inhaling your wild orange. I want to show you the fifth way that doTERRA pays us, and these are the empowerment bonus pools. This is so fun. So if nothing so far has shown you the generosity of our company, I think this slide will. So we had this empowerment bonus in place for premiers and silvers. And what it does is reward you as you become a leader and you continue to enroll new members. Because it might be tempting to hit a leadership rank and then let the people who are on your team do most of the enrolling, where you just become more of a manager. Well, doTERRA loves to see our leaders remain active. And I, as a leader, love to continue enrolling people because that's my passion. I love to sit down with you, find out what your health needs are, help you choose a kit, and help you launch into a healthy lifestyle. I love that process over and over again, seeing the light bulb turn on for people and really helping them through that. And so this incentive is so cool. They just expanded it to include more % of the annual profits, the monthly profits, and they added goals. So because this is so new, we don't have data yet. We don't know for sure how much this is going to improve that gold monthly paycheck. But if you were thinking back to the sliding scale with all the ranks and the monthly pays, where I invited you to dream big, if perchance you had zeroed in on gold, given the history of the empowerment bonus and what we're making today, I would guess that the gold monthly income is about to increase by $400 to $500 a month. And so that's a really big pay increase just due to the generosity of doTERRA. And then as a person who regularly gets paid as either a premier or a silver, depending on my volume for the month, as long as I'm enrolling a new person, I also qualify for this bonus, and I typically make around $200 a month, which is just really awesome. Great bonus. And so then with these next two slides, I just want to come back to that slide where we talked about the dilemma and needing that nest egg. And so if we look at the power of 3 bonus within this perspective, then instead of thinking about the $50 a month bonus, I would encourage you to think of it on the year. So what if you were to make an extra $600 per year? That sounds great. I could do something with that money. I might take a small vacation. I might buy something fun. You can let your imagination run with that. So the average time it takes to earn this bonus is 3 months. And so if you were to compare that with your nest egg, you would need $12,000 sitting in an investment, earning 5% interest in order to pay you that $600 per year. Is that feasible for you? Is that something that you have, or do you have a way to set that up? Or is doTERRA looking really good? Example number 2, what if you're earning that $250 a month bonus, which that's where I am. That's an extra $3,000 a year. That's so awesome. I can do something with that. So the average time it takes to get to a level where you can earn that bonus is about 6 months. And these are all people who are working that full-time, the 15 to 30 hours a week. Hours a week. You would need $60,000 sitting in a bank account or an investment earning 5% per month. And now, even if I put money in my savings account, I don't make anywhere near 5%. I think it's only around 1%. So I'd have to get fancy and find some type of investment that really pays a high interest rate. And then I'd have to have $60,000 saved. And I don't. So I can tell you, earning that $250 a month is a really big deal for me and for our family. And then this is what I'm shooting for, and maybe you are too, this level 3, $1,500 a month. That looks like $18,000 a year. That is significant. That's at least a part-time, if not a full-time job. And you would need $360,000 invested in order to be able to collect that amount of residual income every year. And so just some really great food for thought for you there. Hopefully doTERRA is looking really good to you. So let's do a similar exercise with the Unilevel bonus. Your average income a month as a silver is $2,200, and that looks like $26,400 per year. So again, either a great part-time job or potentially even a full-time job. The average time to reach silver is a year. Obviously, it took me a lot longer because I wasn't really focused on that. But if you were to start just going for it day one, it's likely that you would hit silver within a year. So in order to match that paycheck, you would need to have $528,000 invested. That's over $500,000 invested in earning 5%. And I promise you, I do not have that much money invested. So it makes me very, very grateful for my doTERRA income. And then finally, you can do the same with gold. So the average income, which I said is probably going to go up $400 to $500. So think $4,500 to $5,000 a month. That looks like $45,000 upwards of $50,000 a year. You would need $900,000, almost $1 million invested, earning 5% in order to match your doTERRA gold income. So I hope you're seeing that these income goals are incredibly within your reach and also so financially freeing and exciting. And I hope you'll agree with me that doTERRA is the best way to secure this level of residual income. And so as we wind down, we're on our last 2 slides now. Let's look at planning for the future. Just one more illustration. If you were to look on the left, I'm not sure the job that I was in full-time would have ever even seen these numbers. I was in the 30s to 40s when I was working, and I definitely felt like I was hitting a ceiling. Even though I was great at my job, it just wasn't in my control to make sure that I was compensated fairly. And so early on, I was hitting a ceiling and it just did not feel comfortable. But even with these numbers, look at the level of growth potential between year 1 and year 10 and compare them to a doTERRA 10-year plan. So obviously these are annual numbers. Those first couple numbers for doTERRA are very modest, but look how they multiply. In some cases they're doubling, in some cases they're tripling. When you look at the difference between Premier and Silver, when you look at the difference between Diamond, Blue Diamond, and Presidential. That's incredible. And like we talked about with the Shetabys, they are now triple Presidential Diamonds. So take that annual Presidential Diamond income and multiply it by 3. And they're not done. They're very active builders. They're still following their plan, actively building their next organization. It's incredible. So is the 10-year path in doTERRA worth your time and energy? Think about the future that you have the opportunity to build. And I would say you can make a great case if you're in a job right now, like Greg is in a job right now, where he's making some, what would I call it? Substantial income. It pays our bills. It puts food on the table. There's every justification to keep doing that for probably 4 or 5 years while your doTERRA plan takes off. And so if that's your spouse or if that's you, you may not want to jump ship immediately from something that's, you know, helping meet all the needs. But know that on a part-time basis, you can get started on your doTERRA. I can help you figure out how this fits with your timeline, with your schedule. We can figure out how to plan so that within those 4 or 5 years, you're in a place where you can retire from that job and focus 100% on your doTERRA career. It's entirely doable. And so that brings us to our final question and our final slide. What is the next step? And this is entirely up to you. So we've got a couple things outlined here. If you don't have your membership yet, then that's obviously first step for you. You want to get with your leader, or if that's me, whoever invited you to this class or sent you the link to watch the recording, you want to meet with them and let them know what your goals are. If you need to enroll, they can help you choose a kit. If you've already enrolled, maybe you need to upgrade your account. Maybe you're currently a wholesale customer. It's very simple to do. You just go into your back office. There will be a little button on the upper right-hand corner when you log in that says upgrade. And you'll click there. The only difference between a wholesale customer and a wellness advocate is your social security number. So you will type in your social security number, hit enter, and you're done. Congratulations, you're a wellness advocate. You're now able to earn an income, which, as you now know, you can start doing immediately. As soon as you enroll someone, you're going to get that fast start bonus, and it just goes from there. So once you have your account, once you're upgraded to a wellness advocate, then you want to start to put your plan into place. And I talked about a proven system. The first step in that, and your leader can flesh this out with you and explain this to you. But what we're just starting to use on our team and loving is Elise and Patrick Shetaby's Back to Basics program. So there are classes that you'll learn how to teach, but you'll jump in day one with the Back to Basics program daily mentor calls. And you can go to dailymentorcalls.com and register, and then it's entirely free. And you can go proactively at your own pace and log in and just do the next call, the next call, the next call, and follow the steps. You may want to check in with your leader on a weekly basis or every other week and just talk about your progress and make plans accordingly. But you'll get your next step and next step and next step through those daily mentor calls. And where it all begins is listing out some people that you would love to connect with. And I just challenge you, I speak from my heart on this because I really struggle personally with sales. And I don't like to think about, oh, if I put someone's name on a list, who am I going to be bothering? That's just the wrong mindset to bring into the process. And so something that was so helpful to me, which is true to me, when I meet with someone, when I share an oil, when I help them, it's very life-giving to both me and the person. I have a gift. I have these phenomenal gifts of the earth to share. And so why would I ever hold that back? And so when I think about putting names on a list, I think about it in terms of who do I want to bring healing and freedom to, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or financial. Who do I want to give this gift to? And then that helps give me a better frame of reference and helps me feel excited about connecting with these people. And we will help you to learn how to connect in ways that are natural for you. Again, we don't want to be cold calling people or doing weird sales tactics and techniques. That is not what we're about. We are about up-leveling and improving lives, starting with others, and thanks to residual income, blessing our own as well. So as we wrap up, I hope you learned a lot tonight about the power and the potential of residual income. If you're ready to take the next step, make sure to reach out to your enroller, whether that's me or another leader. Maybe the person is watching with you. Just let them know. And then be ready with your goals and your dreams. We are here to help you begin your doTERRA business and bring them all to life. I thank you for being part of this class tonight. If you're watching the recording, we're going to sign off. For those of you who are here live, I am going to, after I stop the recording, I'm going to promote everyone to a panelist so that we can hang out. I'm going to answer your questions live and just visit for a little bit. For those of you watching the recording, we're thrilled that you were able to join us, and do reach out to your leader for those next steps, and we will be cheering you on. Take care. Here's to your continued health and success.